Hi, and welcome back to another video here with me, Ellen, and thank you so much for joining me today. So, this is going to be just another short little flow here, and I've got a block. You might want it, you don't have to have it, you don't need to use it, but it's just an option. And you could use a book instead if you don't have a block at home, which is all cool. And so I'm feeling a little bit tight in my body today, a little bit kind of tired on a physical level. And so I just wanted to film a short practice to kind of speak to that and to just be a little bit juicy, getting into the hips, kind of my favorite type of practice to do, just a little bit stretchy and a little bit juicy. So let's get to it. So we're going to start on our backs. In fact, because that is where I want to be right now. So just coming down to your back. And this is where we could get the block involved. So you can start in any kind of restful restorative pose that feels good. So that might be a shavasana, that might be legs long, that might be the feet down on the mat, the knees up towards the sky. Maybe that's the knees knocking in towards each other. Maybe it's a Supta Baddha Konasana, taking the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. But that can feel sometimes a little bit strong at the start of the practice. I'm actually going to take a kind of restorative bridge to start the practice and just seeing which level feels good, placing it on the lowest setting, maybe the mid setting. I'm not going to go for the highest setting because I just feel that's a little bit strong to start my practice. And I'm going to undo my hair because the bobble's getting in the way. So just coming to a restful state that feels good to you. Right now, in this moment, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It doesn't matter what you've done before. Just bringing yourself down onto your back, perhaps closing down the eyes, or maybe taking this soft, unfocused gaze up towards the ceiling, up towards the sky. And just seeing if you could take your shoulder blades a little bit further down your back. Can you crawl the shoulders a little bit further down the mat? So you're creating this space between the bottom of your earlobe and the top of your shoulder. Perhaps noticing that the shoulders are automatically kind of hunching up towards the ears, even on our back bodies. And let's take an inhale through the nose together here. Exhale a gentle sigh out through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sighing it out through the mouth. One more for good luck. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale a sigh out through the mouth. Let it go. And just using that sigh, that exhale, to release, surrender a little bit more into this practice, into this space that you're creating for yourself. And also just surrendering a little bit more into your body. We're lying on our backs. Allow yourselves to get heavy on the mat, the back of your head, your shoulders, your hips, your feet, maybe your ankles if you're in a shavasana style pose, your wrists, the backs of your arms. Get heavy. Feel supported, held, cradled by the mat, by the earth beneath you. Allow yourself to be held, allow yourself to be supported. You're stepping away from the day that you've had so far, the week so far, the month so far. Allow yourself to be heavy. Allow yourself to become still. The urge to fidget, to move might rise up. Can you just let it rise up, not react, and let it pass? Just allowing your body to acclimatize to this space of stillness, a moment of rest, a moment of introspection. Softening around the eye sockets, the forehead, the eyebrows, the cheeks, the jaw. Allow the tongue to move away from the roof of the mouth. Soften. Softness, heaviness floods through the body. And you're here. You've made it. this short time that you're taking away from your day just for yourself. And let's take one more inhale through the nose together. Exhale a sigh out through the mouth. And just releasing a block underneath your sacrum if you were in that supported bridge position. And just hugging your knees into your chest, and take your knees wide so we're opening up into the hip space, the groin. Maybe circling through the ankles, massaging out the back of the body. And then placing the left foot down onto the mat, figure 4. Outside edge of the right foot, right ankle comes onto that left thigh. And cactus your arms and just take that left foot off of the mat. So you're here, but you're not grabbing it with the arms, and just gently sway side to side. So we're not coming through to that arm bind, but we can still feel that stretch in the outside of the right hip, pushing that right knee almost away from you as you're drawing that left knee in towards the body. It's all happening, it's all going. That right hip's probably speaking to you. You can probably hear it, you can probably feel it. Keep both feet nice and flat. Swaying side to side, feeling into this juicy opening, and then taking that right foot, sole of the right foot down to the left side. So you're coming into a supine twist, but keeping your legs exactly where they are. Take your gaze over the right shoulder. And perhaps taking the left hand to the inside of that right knee, right thigh, gently pushing that right knee, right thigh away from you. This really intensifies the stretch in the outside of the right hip. You do not need to do this. You do not need to go here. You can keep your hands nice and cactus and open through the heart, through the chest. Breathe into the right hip. One more inhale here together. One more exhale here together. And releasing that hand back down. The arms are still cactus, and just drawing that left foot back down to the mat, hips back to center. Taking an inhale here, draw it in once more. And then an exhale, just unravel, plant both feet down onto the mat and just find stillness. Again, resist the urge to fidget, to move, to shift anything around. Just feeling that sensation rippling through that right hip, the right leg. It's intense, even after just a tiny little bit of movement. It's crazy how much we can feel when we tune in. Coming onto the other side now, so the outside edge of the left foot onto the right thigh, and drawing that right foot off of the mat. Arms are still cactus, or maybe a T shape if you've got room, and you're gently just swaying the hips side to side, keeping both feet nice and flexed and engaged. And you want that outside of the left hip to be speaking to you, to be feeling that stretch in the outside of the left hip. This gentle massage out of the sacrum, the lower spine, really grounding the sacrum into the mat. The sways can be small. And then we sway over towards the right, planting that left foot down on the mat, maybe shifting the hips over towards the left. And we're here, supine twist. Turn your gaze over the left shoulder. Maybe you want to take that right hand again to the inside of that left thigh, left knee, drawing it away from you, slightly deepening that stretch in the outside of the left hip. The eyes can be closed throughout all of this if they aren't already, just dropping into sensation, dropping into body, and sending your breath to where you can feel the stretch in the body. The outside of my hips feels super tight today. Take it gentle and easy on yourself. There's no reason to force or push. One more inhale here together. One more exhale. Releasing that right hand down if you had it pushing against the leg, drawing that figure 4 back to center. On an inhale, hugging it in towards the chest. Exhale, release both legs down towards the mat. Find stillness here in your reclined position and feel that rippling of energy, that sensation tingling down the left leg. Send your breath to your hips, to your sacrum. Perhaps it feels easier to lie in stillness than it did just a few moments ago. The pace has slowed. The thoughts in the mind have slowed. And then hugging those knees into your chest. We're going to rock and roll just a couple of times up and down through the spine, taking your time, rolling over your knees and coming to our tabletop position. And we're just going to keep it flowing, keep it moving. But let's make it fluid through our all fours. We're just moving around in a little bit of free movement here. And maybe free movement for you means cat-cows. That's all good. That's all cool. Maybe it's waves. Maybe it's ripples. Maybe it's sways. Perhaps you're playing around with the placement of your hands, fingertips turning to the outside edge of the mat, fingertips turning towards you, working through the wrists. And again, if your eyes aren't closed already, I really invite you to just close down your eyes and just drop into sensation, drop into movement. We're in this moment of free movement now. There's literally no right. There's literally no wrong. No one can see what you're doing. Perhaps you curl under the toes, maybe coming up onto the fingertips. Just feel into body. Get juicy, get fluid. You're here to move your body. You're here to shift some stuff, to shift some energy, to create some energy. And just allow yourself to drop into that. Allow yourself to become a little bit more free, a little bit more flowy, a little bit more fluid, letting go of any boundaries, any right or wrong. Really nice. And then planting the palms down if maybe you are on your fingertips, drawing your hips back towards your heels. Take your fingertips behind you, opening up through the heart, fingertips face away from you. Inhale. We're taking some ripples through. So exhale, we roll through our tabletop, rounding through the spine like a cat pose, laying your hips, laying your stomach, laying your heart down on the mat, hands underneath shoulders. Inhale, we roll up towards our cobra. And exhale, we ripple back down again. Curling under the toes, rounding through the spine, coming through that cat pose again. Fingertips coming behind you, opening up through the heart. We're going to do it twice more. Exhale, we ripple through, round through the spine, place the palms into the mat, coming through a cat pose, laying hips, laying belly, laying heart on the mat. Inhale, we open up through heart, through chest, squeeze your bottom, maybe there's a smile. And exhale, we ripple all the way back down, press through the palms, curl under the toes, rounding through your tabletop, coming back to sit on your heels, fingertips behind you. Let's go one more time together, but I'm not going to cue you through it. So you know where you're going, so just move there. And if it looks a little bit more different to mine, that's okay. You've got it. You know what you're doing. Just flowing through the body. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. Breath guides movement. And when you're coming to sit back on your heels, fingertips behind you, taking an inhale here. And exhale, rolling back forward, coming to a downward facing dog, crawling your way there. Taking the hips up and back, pressing through the palms, pressing through the fingertips. Let's take an inhale through the nose together here. And exhale a sigh out through the mouth. And maybe you're keeping it fluid, keeping it moving. I know I am. A gentle sway side to side. Maybe a shaking of the head yes, a shaking of the head no. Dropping into sensation once more. The eyes can still be closed. Just feel into this down dog. Notice if it feels sticky. Maybe bending one knee then the other. That's all good. And then coming back to stillness in your downward facing dog and taking your right heel towards your right glute. So you're kind of bending in that right foot and then just drawing the hip out towards the right. Really nice. Breathe into that right hip. Pressing through both palms equally, squaring off the shoulders. Nice. And then maybe you want to extend this out. So keeping this open hip, extending that right leg back, sparking through the toes. Can you separate the toes on that right foot? Inhale here. And then exhale, just taking that right foot back down towards the mat. Find stillness. Notice right side, notice left side, notice space, opening. Down the right side of the body. Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's large. And then curling that left heel in towards your left bum cheek. So we've got a bend through that left knee. And then you just open that left knee out towards the side. So we're opening up through the left hip. Press through both palms equally, squaring off the shoulders. Allow the crown of the head to hang heavy. Just breathe into left side. And inhale, just extending the leg up. So we're keeping that hip nice and open, just extending the leg up to the sky. Maybe you splay the toes. Imagine this shining light coming out of the ball of the left foot. We'll take an inhale here. And exhale, we just bring that left leg back down towards the mat. Find your down dog, find stillness, maybe noticing a sense of equilibrium through the body. Maybe a sigh out through the mouth. Let's take a blubber through the lips together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale a blubber of the lips. Beautiful. And walking your hands towards your feet at the back of the mat now, coming down to a malasana squat. So heels in, toes out, drop the hips down, hands to prayer at heart center. You could keep this fluid, a gentle sway side to side, or maybe you just want to stay in stillness. A block can come in handy here. You can place a block underneath your seat so you're bringing the ground a little bit closer towards you, working into the hips, working into the groin. And this pose can feel pretty strong, and it is strong. It's a deep opening here, and you can be on your tiptoes. Your heels do not have to be touching the mat at all. Let's take one more inhale here. Exhale, placing your palms down, lifting your hips up to a forward fold. We're going to take that twice more. So on an inhale, we come down to our malasana squat. And an exhale, we draw the hips up, forward fold. Inhale, come down to malasana squat one more time. And an exhale, draw the hips up and back, forward fold. Let's stay. Have a generous bend in your knees. Give your backs of the legs a little bit of respite here. And take your feet about hip width apart. Grab hold of opposite elbows, ragdoll. And become heavy through the upper body. Allow the crown of the head to drop towards the mat, to drop towards the earth. Sway side to side, let it go. Let it feel loose and gooey and juicy, the whole intention of this practice. Let it go. Maybe there's a shaking of the head, yes, no. And I like to imagine that any thoughts, any narratives, any stories, any beliefs that you're carrying around about yourself, about other people that you don't need to carry around, imagine them just falling out the top of your head and being swallowed up by the ground, by the earth. You're letting them go. You do not need to hold on to them any longer. And releasing your bind now. Have your feet hip width apart, ground down the four corners of your feet. We're slowly unraveling all the way up to standing. Take it slow, slower than you've ever moved before. Take it slow, slower than feels natural. Coming up through every vertebrae of the spine. Rolling the shoulders back, arriving, reaching your hands up over your head to prayer. Take your gaze to that prayer. Take your prayer down to your heart center. Perhaps bringing the feet to touch at the back of the mat now, or keeping the feet about hip width apart. Close down the eyes, or take a soft gaze, a moment in stillness. A time to check in, not check out. Come back to breath. Come back to your mat, come back to your practice. Notice where the mind has gone. As we've stopped, have the thoughts come in? The thoughts about this practice, perhaps? A thing you need to do when you step off the mat? Quieten it, place it to one side. You're here. And all that matters right now for the rest of this practice is your body, your breath, this moment. On your next inhale, reaching your prayer up towards the sky. And exhale, we fold over the legs. Nice. And taking your palms out, let's step to a high plank. So coming to your high plank at the top of the mat, pulling the pit of the belly in and up. Really nice. And we're going to hover to an up dog. So just hovering the hips down, opening up through the heart, the chest, your toes are curled under, squeezing your bottom. And exhale, come back to that plank. Let's take it twice more. Dropping the hips down, opening up to an up dog. Inhale. And exhale, coming back to your high plank. One more time, you've got it. Super strong through the wrists. Inhale, open through the heart. Maybe a little smile. Exhale, come back to your high plank. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, let's reach right leg up and back, three-legged. Exhale, bend the knee, opening up the hip in the sky for a breath. Inhale, re-extend, right leg up. Exhale, right knee comes to tap that right elbow. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, stepping the right foot to the outside of the right hand. We're dropping to our lizard lunge. Drop the left knee down on the mat, opening up through the heart, through the chest. Really nice. Take the right hand to the inside of the right leg and slightly just pushing the inside of that right leg away from you. breathing into the hip, into the groin. You're welcome to come down onto the left forearm if there's space of your hips. That feels just a little bit more comfortable for me. And this is strong. Take it easy. No need to push or force. And keeping that right foot nice and flexed, maybe rolling onto the knife edge of your right foot. Breathe. One more inhale here. And on your exhale, coming back up onto your palms if you aren't there already. Curl under the back toes. That right leg is out wide, but we're drawing it back to this kind of half splits position. And you can have the hips off the heels here. And I know the right leg's out wide, but it's all good. We're breathing into the back of the right leg, the right hamstring. Take your heart, take your gaze forward to the top of the mat. One more inhale here. Exhale, rebend into that front knee and lift the left leg up off the mat. Inhale, easy twist, drawing right fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, drawing that right arm forward, taking you round to a wide-legged forward fold. Toes in, heels out. Right hand to the outside of the left leg, peeling their fingertips up towards the sky. And we'll stay here for a moment, breathing into the backs of the legs, the groin, finding this juicy little twist. Inhale. Exhale, coming through center, left hand to the outside of your right leg, peeling the right fingertips up towards the sky. Inhaling here. Exhale, come back through center. And let's just take a couple of ripples. So inhale, we open, halfway lift. Exhale, we ripple back down. Inhale, we ripple up, halfway lift. Exhale, we ripple back down, turning the left toes out. Take yourself to a skandasana at the back of the mat. Again, I know it's strong. You've got it. Left hand down, peeling right fingertips up towards the sky. That right foot is nice and flexed and engaged. Inhale here. Exhale, right hand comes down. Using your hands or maybe just the strength of your legs, you can have your hands clasped together like I have, coming to a skandasana at the top of the mat. You've got it. Right hand down, peeling left fingertips up towards the sky. Inhale here. Exhale, left hand down. Draw yourself back to that wide-legged fold in center. Inhale, halfway lift. And now this is a little bit funky, but I know you can do it. So we're peeling ourselves around towards that left leg. Keep your legs exactly where they are. We're twisting to this shoelace pose. So your left knee is stacked underneath your right. You can take your hands to your feet. Inhale here and exhale, just soften. Into this fold, breathing into the outside of the hips. And this is where your block can come in handy. You can place your block gently on that left knee and your forehead can come to your block and you can find a fold here. Maybe you want to bring the block down towards the earth and you find a fold here. Maybe you want to just stay upright and that's all good too. So coming to where feels good and you're breathing into the outside of the left hip. That's where you should feel sensation. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Soften through the face, jaw, forehead. Drop into this fold. One more inhale here together. One more exhale here together. And drawing yourself back up if you aren't there already. And we're coming out the way we came. So drawing ourselves over towards the right side of ourselves now. Coming back to that wide-legged fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Draw yourself forward to a runner's lunge. Inhale, dipping the left knee down. And then exhale, pyramid pose, drawing the right hip back so you can straighten through that right leg. I like to come onto the heel of the right foot, but you do not have to. Inhale, halfway lift here. And exhale, refold, breathing into the back of the right leg. Let's ripple through it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Bending into that front right knee. Step yourself back to your high plank. Flow through your vinyasa now. You can come knees, chest, chin, or high to low plank. Inhale, open up through the heart. Squeeze your bottom, a tiny little smile. And exhale, push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take an inhale through the nose together. Exhale, a gentle sigh out through the mouth. Let it go. And find stillness. You're welcome to come down to a seat or a child's pose for a couple of breaths. Find stillness wherever you are and feel that sensation down right side of body. Notice the difference between right side, left side, and making your way to your down dog. If you're in your seat, we go onto the left side now. Inhale, reach the left leg up and back, free-legged. Exhale, bend the left knee, open up the hip for a breath. Inhale, re-extend left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee comes to tap left elbow. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, we step that left foot through to the outside of the left hand. We're dropping the right knee down, dipping into our lizard lunge, taking it to a depth that feels good for you. And this is strong in the left hip. If it feels strong, you're in the right place. Left hand can come to the inside of the left knee, left thigh. Maybe you're coming down onto the right forearm. I just find that a little bit more comfortable on my body. I like to roll onto the knife edge of the left foot just because that feels good for me. You do not have to. Notice if tension's creeped up into the face, into the jaw. Can you soften, let go? Maybe there's a sigh and exhale. You're breathing into the left hip. On your next inhale, drawing yourself back to center, coming up onto your palms, curling under those right toes, and taking your hips back to a half splits here. And keep the hips off the heels here. You really don't have to be taking your bum to your heel. That left foot's nice and flexed. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, we fold. Breathe into the back of the left leg. This is strong through the hamstring. I can feel it. It's intense. Breathe into the back of the left leg. Send your breath there. And on your next inhale, draw yourself forward, easy twist. Right hand plants down. Inhale, reaching their fingertips up to the sky, grow tall. And then inhale, drawing the left arm forward to take you round to your wide-legged fold, facing a different side of the mat this time, walking your hands to the right foot and that back left corner of the mat. Breathing up and down the left side of the body, sending your breath to the left side. One more inhale here. Exhale, taking yourself through center, drawing your hands towards that left foot, taking your hands to the top right corner of the mat, breathing up and down right side of body. Soften through the neck, through the jaw. Inhale here. Exhale, coming back through center. Let's take 2 ripples. Inhale, halfway lift through the chest. And exhale, we refold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift through the chest. And exhale, we refold. Coming to a skandasana at the back of the mat, turning the right toes out slightly, dropping down. And you can be higher than this. That's all good. Right hand down, peeling left fingertips up to the sky, open. And then exhale, coming back to center. You can use your hands on the mat or maybe clasping your hands in front of you, using the strength of your legs. I know you've got it. Coming to a skandasana at the top of the mat, super strong. Left hand down, peeling right fingertips up to the sky, and inhale here. Exhale, drawing that hand back down, coming back to our wide-legged fold. We're taking that funky little twist to find our shoelace pose. So inhale, halfway lift, and we're twisting towards the back of the mat once more. Keep your feet where they are, drawing that left knee underneath the right. We've made it, hands towards your feet, and you can stay here. Maybe there's a sigh, you've done it. Or maybe you want to bring the block onto your knee again, just as we did before. Or maybe you want to bring a block or a book down towards the mat. Maybe you just want to fold on the legs. Maybe you want to stay upright. Breathe into the outside of the right hip. Soften through the face, soften through the jaw, this moment of respite. Breathe into the outside of the right hip. Imagine that you're sending every bit of juicy breath, juicy nourishment there. Allow your hips to get heavy. One more inhale here together. One more exhale here together. And slowly drawing yourself back up to your seat and coming out the way that we came. We're twisting back round towards the left, taking yourself back to that wide-legged fold. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, coming to frame that left foot at the top of the mat. Drop that right knee down, just opening into this runner's lunge, opening into the heart. Inhale. And exhale, a pyramid variation, drawing the hips up and back. Energetically really drawing that left hip back in space. That's ripple. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold over the left leg. Again, you can use blocks here to bring the ground closer towards you. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, refold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Beautiful. Rebend into that left leg, framing that front left foot. Step back to your high plank, flowing through your vinyasa. Just washing through that side, washing the movement through with breath. Inhale through the heart. And exhale, downward facing dog. Push the hips up and back. Beautiful. Let's take an inhale through the nose together. Exhale, a sigh out through the mouth. Let it go. Let's find stillness. Let's feel the energy. Let's feel the shifting, rippling underneath the surface of the skin. Maybe a slight leveling out now between the right side and the left side. Soften through the face. And on your next inhale, take right leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Dropping that right foot behind you, coming into our wild thing just for a few moments. Opening up through hips and heart into this space that you've created. Dropping the head back. Hopefully you've got more space than I do. One more inhale. And exhale, using your belly button, tipping yourself back round to your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, reaching left leg up and back, three-legged. Exhale, bend the knee, opening up the hip. You're welcome to stay here or tipping yourself back to your wild thing. You've got it. Taking the hips high, taking the heart high, dropping the head back, taking your gaze towards that left hand, towards the top of the mat. Breathe, find space. You've got this. One more inhale here. And exhale, tipping yourself back round, no drama, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, roll forward to your high plank. We're going to take those little up dog push-ups 3 more times. So inhale, drop towards your up dog, open through the heart, squeeze the bottom. Exhale, back to plank, not down dog. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, high plank. Draw your belly button up towards your spine. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's end with a funky little twist. Maybe making your dog a little bit shorter. Right hand to the outside of your left shin, ankle, and draw your gaze underneath the left armpit, finding a twist. Feeling into all this space you created down the backs of the legs in your dog, this space, this lengthening across the spine. Inhale, exhale back to center. Inhale here, exhale left hand to the outside of that right leg, drawing your gaze underneath the right armpit, finding a little down dog twist. One more inhale. And exhale, drawing yourself back to center, maybe taking the feet together at the back of the mat, bending through the knees, looking towards your hands, finding a little buoyancy here, maybe just a few bounces, super fun. And your inhale looks forward, and exhale, you're stepping yourself through, jumping through to a seat, and drawing the soles of your feet together, taking your knees out wide. I'll come to face you, just finding a Baddha Konasana here. To finish our practice, working into the hips. One more time, and again, a block might come in handy here. You could place it down in front of you to lay your forehead down onto your block. I like to take my forearms to the mat, palms facing up, in this really open, receptive gesture at the end of the practice, almost like we're kind of opening ourselves up to the energy we've created through the flow. And just allow gravity to do the work here. It doesn't matter how deep you fold, just let yourself fold, right? Allow the spine to round, allow the chin to tuck into the chest. There's nowhere to be, there's no destination of this pose. Just let yourself fold. Let yourself fall inwards. Let yourself fall deeper. If the eyes aren't closed, perhaps you close them or keep that gaze nice and unfocused. Send your breath to your hips, to your groin, We finish with introspection just as we began with introspection. Turn inwards. Can you fold a little bit deeper? Can you fall a little bit more? One more inhale here together. One more exhale here together. Nowhere to rush off to. Gently, gently, just unraveling yourself out of this little fold, perhaps moving the block and coming to a cross-legged seat. You can keep the eyes closed, you can keep the gaze soft. And let's just take a little twist through the spine here. Left hand to the outside of your right knee, right fingertips behind you. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, we twist. Wringing out the spine. A little bit of juiciness through the torso. And on your next inhale, just draw that right arm up over the right ear, a side body stretch. Exhale, we're here. Inhale here. Exhale, right hand comes to the outside of the left knee now. Left fingertips behind you. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, we twist, looking over the left shoulder, but perhaps the eyes are closed. Wringing out of the spine. Finding more pockets of space. On your next inhale, draw that left arm up over your ear. And exhale, we're here. Can you send the fingertips a little bit further away for another inhale? And exhale, just drawing yourself back to center, backs of your hands to your thighs, to your knees. Palms are facing up towards the sky. Open, receptive. Here, ready to receive any energy, any shifts our practice has invoked, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And you're just sitting within the middle of it all, sitting within the middle of all these energies and shiftings happening around you, happening within this bubble around you and your mat, and sitting within center of all this energy and shifting happening within you. And we're going to end with a couple rounds of alternate nostril breathing. I like to bring my 2 peace fingers of my right hand to my third eye space between my eyebrows, taking your right thumb to your right nostril. Inhale, breathing through the left nostril. Ring finger to left nostril, hold. Exhale through right. Inhale through right. Close the right nostril, hold. Exhale through left. Inhale through left. Close the left nostril, exhale through right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. And just releasing your hand, back of that right hand, back down to your thigh, to your knee. Find stillness, and we'll settle into quiet for a few moments. And just noticing any shifts, physically, mentally, emotionally, to when you stepped on the mat at the beginning of this short practice. Notice any space, physically, mentally, emotionally, that feels like it's opened up in front of you. And all of this juicy, juicy goodness that you created just for yourself on the mat here today. All of this juicy goodness just for you, this small gift, this offering to yourself. Taking your hands to prayer at heart center. And taking that prayer, your thumb knuckles to your third eye space between your eyebrows. Bow your head to your heart, to yourself, to this practice. Thank yourself for getting on the mat, and thank you so much for practicing with me. For this practice, we say Namaste.